Hello everyone and welcome back to another edition of Digestible News, your news in digestible English. My name is Corey and I'm here to help you improve your English while staying informed about what's happening in Korea and around the world. Today is Friday, July 24th, 2026, and we have a variety of stories for you today, starting with an important decision from UNESCO about a historical problem at Japanese mines. Our first story, UNESCO made a decision this week about the Sado mines in Japan. The mines are on Sado Island in Niigata Prefecture. Japan inscribed them with a World Heritage Site last year. Inscribed is a verb. It means to officially list something or officially record something. So they officially said these mines are a World Heritage Site last year. The reason was their 17th century mining techniques. However, the mines have a dark history that Japan was not, or has not, wanted to talk about. During World War II, from around 1939 to 1945, more than 1,500 Korean workers worked at these mines. Worked in this case, meaning had employment or were performed some labor. And that's a verb in this case. Japan controlled Korea at that time. The Korean workers endured very harsh conditions. Endured being a verb, meaning suffered through or they tolerated. They had to put up with against their will. Korea has asked Japan to tell the complete story about what happened at the mines, but Japan has only added some small signs and a museum display. UNESCO says this is not enough. Is not enough is a kind of expression to mean it's insufficient. It's not meeting the criteria. There needs to be more done. UNESCO wants Japan to properly acknowledge the truth of the Korean workers and what they suffered. Acknowledge being a verb meaning to recognize or to admit something, to say what really happened. UNESCO has given Japan until December 2027 to improve how the site tells its history. Japan also needs to work with South Korea on this. This is international pressure on Japan to face uncomfortable facts, not just present the parts it wants people to know about. In this article, we learn the words inscribed, which is a verb meaning to officially list or record something. For example, Japan inscribed the mines as a World Heritage Site. You can also use it with on monuments and things, such as the names were inscribed on the monument. Someone's name was inscribed, like on a headstone or on a memorial. They inscribed the date on the stone, for example. In this article, we also learn the phrase, it's not enough, which means it's insufficient or inadequate. For example, the museum display is not enough to tell the full story. Or his explanation was not enough to satisfy everyone, or the toothpaste was not enough for me to brush my teeth. These are some other ways to use that expression. The big question should be, should countries be forced to tell uncomfortable parts of their history? What do you think? You can tell me in the comments down below. Our second story has to do with the game Go, and Korean player who has beat one of the big AI programs. Something historic happened this week in the world of Go. Go is an ancient board game, as you know, that comes from Asia. It is very difficult and requires a lot of thinking. A computer program called Katago has been almost impossible to beat. In this case, beat is a verb meaning to defeat in a game or to overcome some obstacle. Many professional Go players have tried to win against it. Nobody succeeded until this week. Shin Jin-seo is a Korean player. He is 26 years old and South Korea's top-ranked player. He managed to beat Katago after a 5-hour match. Managed to beat is a kind of verb phrase. It means succeed in defeating. He was able to, but it felt like he was maybe unable to, right? Despite the low chances, he still managed to do it. He won by only 4.5 points. This victory is very important because nobody had beaten Catago before. Shin even had a handicap, which means the computer started with an advantage. Despite this, Shin still won. His victory shows that human intelligence can still compete with computer programs in strategic games, even though it's felt like they've won every strategic game for the past 10 years or so. The match was part of a 3-game series. The result raises questions about artificial intelligence and whether machines will always be superior to humans in games like Go. It also suggests that humans' intuition and creativity still have value in competition, which has been a big controversial point in recent years. In this article, we learned the phrase managed to beat, which is a verb phrase meaning succeeded in defeating. For example, Shin managed to beat the AI program. You can also use it when you overcome a record, like she managed to beat her own record, or she managed to beat the world record. They managed to beat the other team. You can use it when playing video games as well. In this article, we learned the phrase shows that, which is an expression. It means to demonstrate or to prove. For example, his victory shows that humans can still compete with computers. You can also use it when talking about research. For example, the research shows that prevention is important, or the numbers show that sales have increased when you're talking about economics as well. Our big question today will be, should we worry about AI becoming too powerful when it comes to games like Go and chess, or is it just inevitable? You can answer in the comments down below. Let's take a quick study break. Actually, do you play any games like chess, Go, or some card game or board games? These days, I feel like board game cafes are pretty popular here in Seoul. I see a lot of meeting groups online where people will meet up just to go to board game nights. Have you attended those kinds of things? I'm really curious. I actually haven't personally, but I used to play a lot of tabletop games with my friends and family. So, anyway, it's just an interesting topic I'd like to talk about with you guys. If you like digestible news so far, please like and subscribe. You can leave a comment and tell me which stories you like, what you would like to see in the future, as well as answering big questions as we go along. Our third story has to do with a famous restaurant here in Seoul. A well-known restaurant in Seoul has a serious legal problem. The restaurant is very fancy and has 2 Michelin stars. Michelin stars, as you know, are a huge honor in the food world. But the owner did something a little controversial. For about 4 years, he served ants on his dishes. As you know, ants are insects, and in South Korea, ants are not approved for people to eat. Approved meaning is a verb meaning officially allowed or accepted for people to eat. It is against the law. Against the law is an expression that's a synonym to being not approved. It means violates legal rules. It is illegal to be against the law. The owner imported dried ants from the United States and Thailand. He put them on desserts as decoration. Prosecutors say he served ant dishes more than 12,200 times. This made him about 120 million won in the process. The owner admits he served the ants, but he disagrees with the verdict. Disagreeing meaning a verb that is having a different opinion. It's the opposite of to agree. He disputes the law. Or not the law necessarily, but the prosecution. He disagrees with how many customers ate them overall. He says only about 60% of customers tried the ants. He also says other countries like Denmark and Australia use insects in their food. However, Korean law is clear. Ants are not allowed. The court will make a decision on September 2nd. Prosecutors want the owner to go to jail for 1 year and pay a fine. Go to jail, of course, just means it's a verb phrase to go to prison, to be put into prison, arrested and forced into confinement. In this article, we learned the word approved, which is a verb. It means officially allowed or accepted. For example, ants are not approved for people to eat in Korea. Or the government approved the new law. Or we can also use it with economics. She got approved for the loan. He was approved to join the hagwon, or the academy, rather. In this article, we also learned the phrase go to jail, which is a little direct, but he was sent to prison. We use this on board games as well. You can see it on the Monopoly board game when you go to jail, for example. Right. Our next story will have to do with overnight camping, actually, here in Seoul. Seoul is trying something new. The city wants to bring more people to the Han River at night. They're opening parks where people can actually camp overnight. They call it Han River Bamping. This is a combination of the Korean word for night and English word camping. Of course, we would pronounce it bumping, but in any case, in English, we would say bamping. The program will start in August. About 200 people can camp there each night. The camping is free and people can stay from 5 p.m. to 9 a.m. Can stay as a verb with a helping verb. It means are able to. They can remain as long as the time frame. The city has a bigger plan, however. They want to turn the Han River into a place where people can eat, shop, and have full, fun nights. There will be food delivery, bicycle rentals, and swimming pools with DJ music. People can take water buses and do many activities. Many of you that have lived in Seoul for a long time or in Korea for a long time probably know parts of the Han River have been like this for a while, where you can go at night and relax, watch movies, and feel the breeze of the river when we didn't have so much aircon. The city is also helping nearby shops and markets. They want to bring money and business to this area. They are promoting 21 traditional markets and neighborhood shops that are close to the parks. This program will run for 1 month. If it works well, the city might make it permanent. Make it permanent is a verb phrase that means decide to keep forever, to continue in perpetuity for the rest of time until there's some problem. The city will watch how many people come, how many people stay overnight, and how much money they spend. In this article, we learn the phrase can stay, which means are able to remain. We use this in multiple situations. You can tell someone, oh, you can stay. It can mean you can stay at my house, you can stay at this place that we're hanging out, and you can do the opposite as well. You can't stay. Other examples, you can stay here for free, is able to stay for no money. And you can also use it as a question. How long can we stay? In this article, we learned the phrase make it permanent as well, which means to decide to keep forever. The city might make camping permanent. They might make this permanent program, or the company might make this job permanent, meaning it's not a temporary job. You can also change that and say, I'm a permanent employee. It kind of means like tenure. You have the job for your life unless something really bad happens or you quit. I'm a permanent employee. Let's take a little study break, actually, take a little sip break. If those of you who remember from the beginning, sip breaks. I'm having Coke Zero today. Have you guys ever camped outdoors, or have you camped near the Han River before? Or slept in a park for that matter? When I was younger, we used to go camping quite a lot, although it was often for hunting purposes or more than it was for having fun or going to a campsite. We just camp in the woods and go hunting. So a little bit different. If you guys have camping experiences, let me know in the comments. I read every comment, so I'd love to talk about it in the comments together. All right, the next story. Big Korean store 홈플러스 is needing some more income, so they're changing how their business is working. 홈플러스, as you know, is a large Korean store. It has been having some financial problems lately. A court is helping the company try to fix these problems. Now, 홈플러스 has received good news. a company called Meritz Financial is giving around 200 billion won to help HomePlus continue operating. This money allows the company to keep working while making major changes. This money allows, in this case, is a verb. It means permits to continue or permits to do something new. So the company will be able to continue making major changes because this money allows them. It enables, it makes them. Make sense? HomePlus is completely changing how it does business. In the past, HomePlus had huge stores with many floors. Now the company wants to be like a little smaller. Stores like Trader Joe's in America. Wants to be like is an expression. It means aim to resemble or to be similar to something. Seeks to become similar. Like I want to be like Tom Holland, you can say. To be a famous person like him because he's very kind or a very good actor, something like that. They want to be like Trader Joe's stores, which are small and focus on everyday items, fresh foods and their own brand of products. For example, focus on is a verb phrase meaning to concentrate on, to do something specific only. HomePlus will reopen 67 stores that were closed, but the company will close 37 stores that are not doing well. The money from Meritz will first pay for important things like supplies, rent, and electricity. The company also promises to pay workers on time and pay back money they owe to small businesses. The court has given HomePlus until September 4th to finish these changes. After that, the company will probably be sold. In this article, we learn the word allows. It's a verb which means to permit or make possible for. For example, in the article, the money allows the company to continue operating. Another use of it would be like getting a ticket. This ticket allows you to enter the concert. Or the law allows people to vote at age 18, for example. In this article, we also learn the phrase to focus on, which is a verb phrase that means concentrate on, emphasize, or do one thing really well. In the article, we said HomePlus will focus on everyday items and fresh food. Another one we can use is the school focuses on reading skills, or we focus on customer service in our business. Right now, Korea is focusing on chips for computers. Our next story has to do with Korean baseball. I've heard some of your comments. I know you guys want to talk about the KBO some more. I tried to take a small break from KBO because there was so much when the season started. But there's some big news. Korean baseball is very popular right now, of course. This week, the Korean Baseball Organization announced something important. The league reached 8 million fans in just 443 games. This is a record. It happened faster than ever before. It happened being a verb to occur or take place. Like, this is the first time that this has ever happened. It broke the record. Last year, it took 465 games to reach 8 million fans. This year, it took 22 fewer games. That's insane. Fans are coming to baseball games even in bad weather. The first half of the season had 7.63 million fans. The All-Star break just finished. Now, the second half is starting and fans are excited. Why are more people coming to games? Experts say better marketing has helped. The stadiums are nicer now. Live sports bring people together. To bring, in this case, or to bring together is a kind of verb phrase that means to cause to come together. It's a focal point. It's something we can concentrate on. It's something we can focus on from the previous article. Families like to go to games together. In fact, when I do go to baseball games, it's always with a big group. So that makes a lot of sense. This shows that Korean baseball is growing and becoming more popular. The energy at the stadiums is strong. When crowds are large and excited, they inspire other people to come and watch. Inspire is a verb that means to motivate or encourage. And I agree. The energy inside of a baseball stadium is similar to European football or even more energetic sometimes. In this article, we learn the word happened, which is a verb meaning to occur or take place. For example, this record happened faster than ever before. Or the accident happened yesterday. It occurred. You can also use it as a question. When did that happen? Or what happened? In this article, we also learned the word bring, to bring together, which means to cause to make people make a meeting or come together. The Olympics brings people together. The KBO brings people together. Or Pokemon Go brings people together. These are all examples of this verb phrase. As another little study break, do you guys follow Korean baseball? And if so, who's your team? However, keep it kind in the comments. It's good to support teams, but sometimes people get a little heated. A little heated is a kind of verb phrase. To get heated means to become angry or a little too excited. But tell me in the comments down below who you follow. I'll keep mine to myself. Our next story, it has to do with Gangnam and it reaching a new benchmark. A famous Korean song that I'm sure everyone in the world knows has just reached a big milestone. In this case, reached means arrived at, like 도착하다. They've achieved something. The song is Gangnam Style. It was released in 2012, and which was around 14 years ago. I was coming to Korea around that time. Psy is, of course, a Korean artist. He created the song Gangnam Style. The song has a very popular and very well-known dance. People all over the world have learned the dance. They make videos of themselves doing it even today. This week, the official music video passed 6 billion views on YouTube. Very few videos in the world have this many views. This shows that the song is still very popular, and I agree. And when you go to COEX here in Seoul, and you go to the Gangnam statue, there's always people there taking photos, doing dances, or tour groups are coming by, or sometimes there's K-pop dance competitions there. It's still very popular. The song introduced Korean pop culture to the world in a big way. Before Gangnam Style, people in other countries did not know much about Korean music or Korea in general, honestly. The song changed that a lot. It made Korea known around the world. To make Korea known is a kind of verb phrase. It means to cause Korea to become famous. You can use it in other situations, like the news or the Spider-Man series made Tom Holland known around the world, for example. Psy became very famous after the song's success. He traveled the world and performed at big events. The song changed his life and the lives of many Koreans. It also helped Korean pop music become popular globally. It set the stage for BTS the next year. Though BTS would still get big, I think, in Korea, having Psy introduce Korean culture helped push BTS out the door. In this article, we learned the word reached is a verb. It means arrived at or achieved. For example, the video reached 6 billion views. You can also use it with goals. I reached my goal. She reached her goal to speak English. Or sales reaching $1 million is another example. In this article, we also learned the phrase made Korea known or made something known. It means caused Korea to become famous. For example, the song made Korea known around the world. His invention made him known worldwide. Tesla made Elon Musk known worldwide, for example. Our next story has to do with international tourists and how they're changing how they engage with Korean culture. More tourists are coming to Korea than ever before. They're spending money in a lot of different ways. In the past, tourists bought expensive luxury brands when they visited Korea. But now things are changing. Tourists are buying Korean fashion and Korean food instead. Our buying is, you need to use like to be buying. is a verb phrase or a verb with a helping verb that means are purchasing or are acquiring something. Tourists love Korean clothes and Korean style. Korean fashion is becoming popular around the world. Tourists buy K-pop t-shirts, Korean beauty products, and clothes from Korean fashion stores and designers. They also love Korean food. They eat at Korean restaurants and buy Korean snacks to take home. A very popular thing that I'd like to talk about in a future video is how Korean food culture and convenience stores is becoming so big people will travel here just to try convenience store food. It's very interesting. Why is this happening? Korean culture is becoming more popular globally. Young people around the world like authentic products from real cultures, not just expensive name brands. Korean companies are making good products at reasonable prices. They are also marketing their products well online, and social media is playing a big part. This is good news for Korea. Korean fashion and food companies are making more money and more profits. More Korean people are getting jobs to make up for this new demand. The economy is growing. Local shops and markets that sell Korean goods are doing better businesses. The government is helping this happen. They are promoting traditional Korean markets and small shops. They want tourists to visit these places and buy local products. This spreads the money to more parts of Korea, not just big companies, and a lot of influencers are encouraging people to leave Seoul and go to places in Gyeonggi-do and not so far out into like Jeollado or the countryside, but other cities are getting more and more attention. In this article, we learn the words are buying, which means they are purchasing or are acquiring things. Tourists are buying Korean fashion and food. People are buying more online now. She is buying a new house, like this. We also learn the word visit. It's just to go spend time in some place. It can also mean to talk to somebody. We are just visiting can mean we are having a conversation. Or we are just visiting can also mean we are just going there and then leaving. It's about context. It's a little complicated, but over time you'll hear the difference. I visit my family every month. If we change it to with, I visit with my family every day. It can mean we talk with them every day, not just go to their house. Our last story is about South Korea having very few doctors, but people still living long lives. South Korea has something interesting about its healthcare. A new report from the OECD came out this week. The OECD studies healthcare systems in different countries. Here's a surprising fact. South Korea has very few doctors. There are only 2.6 doctors for every 1,000 people. Most other developed countries have about 4 per 1,000 people. So South Korea has fewer doctors than most other countries. But here is the interesting part. Korean people live a very long time. The average Korean lives to be 83.7 years old. Only Switzerland has longer life expectancy. Also, very few Koreans die from diseases that doctors could prevent. How is this possible? South Korea has built a different kind of healthcare system. Built, in this case, meaning constructed or, more importantly, created. They made. Not physically built, but figuratively built. There are many hospitals and lots of medical machines. Korea has many CT scanners and MRI machines compared to other countries. Also, Koreans visit doctors very often. On average, a Korean person visits a doctor about 18 times per year. This is much more than in other countries. When people visit doctors often, diseases are caught early. This prevents serious problems. Prevents being a verb, which means to stop or keep from happening. So, South Korea shows that you do not need the most doctors to have a healthy population. You need good medical equipment, frequent checkups, and strong disease prevention. Korea has all of these and has made this work. In this article, we learn the word built figuratively, which means to create. For example, South Korea has built a different healthcare system. They built a new hospital, means physically, or I built a new diet plan, that's figuratively. Make sense? In this article, we also learn the word prevent, which is a verb to mean stop or keep from happening. For example, regular checkups prevent serious diseases. Seatbelts prevent injuries in accidents. Good habits prevent healthcare problems. Good. How did you do? Hope you did well. I hope the stories were interesting. We'll do our last segment we haven't done in a little while, and then we'll say goodbye. This week in history, the Apollo 11 moon landing happened in 1969 on July 20th. 57 years ago this week, something incredible happened. A spacecraft called Apollo 11 landed on the moon. 3 American astronauts were on this mission: Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, and Michael Collins. The spacecraft launched from Kennedy Space Center in Florida on July 16th. It took 3 days to travel to the moon. On July 20th, the lunar module separated from the main spacecraft. It descended, it went down toward the moon's surface. Neil Armstrong became the first human to walk on the moon. He said the famous words, "That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind." About 20 minutes later, Buzz Aldrin joined him on the moon. Michael Collins stayed in the spacecraft above the moon, waiting for them to return. Small piece of trivia. The original planned line was, "That's one small step for a man, and one giant leap for mankind." However, this small mistake has cemented it even further into popular culture and history. The 2 astronauts stayed on the moon for 21 hours. During this time, they collected 47 pounds of moon rock and soil. They took photographs, they left an American flag on the lunar surface, then they returned to the spacecraft. The mission was successful. The spacecraft returned to Earth on July 24th with all 3 astronauts safe. This achievement was the result of 10 years of work by thousands of engineers and scientists with technology, by the way, that was far, far, far weaker than our cell phones are today. Which story interested you the most today? Why? What did you learn? What surprised you? Did anything surprise you? Let me know in the comments. I love reading comments. I check every day just to see what you guys think and what you're up to. Thank you so much for watching Digestible News number 57. You did a great job following along today. You feel free to use the newspaper and the PDF in the comments below. Remember to shadow along with me or to read it to check on your understanding. If you did not understand some words or grammar, you can go back and review those in the grammar sections and vocabulary sections. Right. Thank you all so much for our channel members who support us every month. Your support helps us make more content for you guys. You can join with the join button down below, and I appreciate it very much. I'll see you next week on Monday with our new Digestible News. Keep learning English, keep improving, fighting. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.